So hello everyone, welcome or welcome back to my YouTube channel about knitting, or mostly knitting. My name is Isabelle, I am in France, I have 3 sons and I have 3 cats. Some say it's related. And I'm filming these videos in English because I miss my English very much. I miss talking in English very much. I used to live in the United States, but that was over 30 years ago. And even though reading and listening to English is fine to me, and it's still fine, I miss talking in English and my accent is completely gone. So if that is not a problem for you to be listening to me with a very heavy French accent and with all my hesitations, and if today my monthly checking about my yarn no buy year, and I bought a lot of yarn for August sounds good to you, please stay tuned. So I have this year-long project. I will attach, my first video where I explain why I started that project for the year 2022. And I allow myself to buy yarn in person. That had not happened since the beginning of the year. I had bought one skein online to complete the sorrel project that I'm gonna be casting on soon, because one of the color in the fade I did not think that was working. So that was one skein that I bought online, and I had allowed myself to buy Trellis's mystery boxes whenever she releases them, if I like them. She has one currently going that I'm not much interested into, so it's for Halloween. It's not my kind of things, so I did not buy it, but I bought the one she issued for her birthday, and that was it. That's all the yarn I bought since the beginning of the year. I bought patterns, I've bought books, but I did not buy any yarn. I knew I was going to go for the summertime, during the summertime in the Pyrenees. So you can see that in my last July check-in, where I bought mohair cardé, not the fluffy mohair, but it's the same yarn, but it's not brushed, it's not combed, so you don't have all the fluff out. And from this farm from the Pyrenees. And I'm also going to attach here, because I'm going to talk about another mohair farm. I'm attaching here the video I made last year when I visited the mohair farm in the Pyrenees. And so I bought a lot of yarn when I went to the Pyrenees, but I also bought more yarn in August in one new mohair farm to me, and a local yarn store that is kind of away from me, an hour and a half drive, but that I had been having my eyes on for a long time. So when I went back from the Pyrenees, I spent over a week with my mother. 1.5 hour drive from her is a new farm that I've been following since maybe January. They started to have an Instagram presence about that time, from a young lady who took over her parents' farm. So her, her parents were having, a regular type of farm we have in France with cows, and they were making some cultures for cows for milk and everything. So she took over the farm, but she did not continue with the cows. But I had met her, I think, a couple years back, because she was hired by the lady who has the farm in the Pyrenees. And she started her own farm with goats, and the beginning of her own flock was buying goats from this lady from the Pyrenees. in the Pyrenees, they have very high quality, genetic quality type of goats. And, you know, she explained it to me. And the goats are originally, long time ago, from the Himalayan, but these very goats were first imported from Turkey. And they have very long hair, fleece. And I did not make a video footage. I took some pictures that I'm going to be showing here. So the hair is on the goats themselves is very, very, very long. The goats are very friendly. They were having babies, and interesting thing is that first she opened her shop in her farm just the day before I visited, and I had planned to be visiting her several days or a week before. I had asked her if I could come and everything, because she would usually sell her yarn on open markets and night markets around. And so the goats, very friendly. They had babies that were still milking, and you know, very, 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 very friendly animals. Very nice fleece, and it was extremely, extremely hot. And she has a very nice shop. She opened in the barn that she made very, very nice floors, nice walls. We know with stone walls and. You know, and she shares the store place with her mother, who's collecting china from the area and selling the china there. So when I was there, I bought some mohair, regular mohair, fluffy mohair. So I have several colors, and also I have another color that I don't have anymore. So I'm gonna, you know, at some point when I'll talk about it, I place a picture. So I have a body quantity. I think I have 7-8 skeins of this gray, medium gray color, and I have. Okay, sorry. There is a big construction. A few, maybe 50 meters away from me, 100 meters away from me. And for several months, trucks have been, you know, passing by. It's really a pain. So, okay. So I have a sweater quantity, a body quantity of this medium gray color, mohair color. And, you know, 2 of these darker gray, you know, sky blue and white, which is not, it shows more yellow. I guess it's either the light or my camera, if I get back, or the background, you know, it's more white than cream. It's white. So her mohair, so it's 100% mohair. It's not the way the mohair, the composition of the mohair from the Pyrenees, which has some silk in it. This one is 100% mohair. It's 100 meter per 50 grams. And you see it's the same as the other mohair I already have from the Pyrenees that I haven't knitted yet, but I will knit at some point. It's very fluffy, very long hair, very soft. Okay, so what am I going to do with that? I'm not going to describe it too much now. Because I will have another video with all the yarn I bought this summer, with what I want to do with it. And this one is going to be a color work sweater with mohair. I will explain all my process for thoughts, and why I decided to do that, and what was my inspiration. But anyway, some kind of color work sweater. And I will place a picture now where there is an additional color. I had bought 2 additional skeins or balls. So yeah, I had bought 2 additional skeins that I don't have anymore because I sent them to Rosemary. Hello, Rosemary. along with some other yarn that I will show you next, so that she can experiment these very fluffy and very smooth and very soft yarn from France. Yeah, so it was another blue, a medium blue, and she, for these three colors, she did not have sweaters quantity and the medium blue either. So I got, 2 additional skins to swap, to make a yarn exchange with Rosemary. Okay, my next trip was to a store in Normandy, but 1 hour half drive from me. It's in Lessay, in Cotentin, and I had been eyeing their store and following their social medias and knowing that they were doing some fair here or there, that I could not go and they would be there, and I said, okay, I'm gonna go, but I could not, I did not. So anyway, I made time one Saturday to go there after I came back from my mother's house, to go there, have a picnic on the seaside, and go to visit their store. So I'm going to place a picture of the store. It's, I could take everything, because they have one part of the store that is for yarn, their own yarn, and another part of the store where they sell some local artists' pieces. So maybe, yeah, that little cup here, I got it from there, and I have another one. So I like potteries, and I arranged some places in my house, so in my bedroom. So I took some potteries out and I made a bit. The plant that was here is dead. She died during my away time, so that's okay. So anyway, I went to Lessay, and I did not see the ship, because it was at the time, around the 15th, just after the 15th of August, I went there. And the big tides, the ship are usually where the sea can come. And they had them inside, because the sea was coming up way more inland than it uses to, and it was dangerous for the ships. It's also dangerous for the people. Every year there are some accidents, and of course there were some more accidents here during the big tides, because the water goes very far away, because it's very flat in Normandy, so it goes very far away. So people go to fish and some kind of seaside fishing in the sand and everything. So, but they are not careful about the hour of when the sea is gonna come back. And as it's very flat, it comes back very, very, very quickly. Legend says around the Mont Saint-Michel, the water comes back inland at the speed of a racing horse, and it does come back very, very, very fast. And you may be circled by water that is like a very big, big tide. Fast water come back, and every year there are some accidents. And once again, there were some accidents this year. The helicopter around the coast of Normandy rescued, I think it was 8 or 9 people, but some of them could not be rescued. But anyway, so that's the third part. But the ship, I could not see the ships. Interestingly, it's a local breed that is almost extinct. So they are trying to breed the remaining of the ship with other local breeds to revive it and to maintain it. And it's very rustic breed. They can stay outside most of the year, because the winter time is not that cold here in Normandy. And if you've seen the picture of the store, I had seen these cones you know, when they started to make them, I guess it was like last year, 1 kilogram cone. So I have 2. And the first one I saw was this one that is undyed. And it's made with all the fleeces from all the sheep. So you have the clear one, the darkest one that are black, I guess they are black, and you have brown ones. Anyway, this medium gray type of color, I immediately thought of a pattern. So I have way more. I have way more than what I need to. I need for knitting the Highland. Highland. Let me check the name. Okay, the Highland Freestyle sweater. Sorry, I'm butchering the name of your pattern, Caroline Holbrook. This pattern, I'm gonna show it on that side, because if I can put side by side the pattern of the sweater. This pattern, Amy Palco gave it to me as part of a giveaway, and with a very beautiful project bag. And yeah, when I saw online that they had this undyed grayish, brownish grayish type of color, I immediately thought about the Highland Crystal sweater. It's a sports weight, so I think the sweater is also in sports weight or fingering, but I can make it work. And you see the color better on that side. And yeah, so I got 1 kilogram. I have way more than enough to knit that sweater. And I also got the 1 kilogram of the undyed. So it's a bit more creamy than creamy white, you know, kind of yellowy white. This color is a bit, you know, maybe you can see it that way here better. And I also have 1 kilogram, and I want to make some color work things with the 2 of them. And once again, I'm going to talk about what are my projects are with all the yarn I bought this summer. From my, you know, my summer trips. So anyway, if I look at the mohair, and also, I'm sorry, I will place a picture because I also got some other yarn. Yes, fortunately I took a picture before I send it to Rosemary. So it's the same yarn as this one, because they have several qualities. They have fingering, and they have maybe up to bulky. I'm not sure. Decay, I'm sure. Bulky, maybe. So one skein, I got 1 skein of the white, and one of mixed white and blue experiment they did in the kind of tie-dye method. And they had a piece of a sample piece, a swatch with that yarn. I thought it was interesting, but they were out of the same kind of solid blue for an additional skein, so I got her the white one. Okay, so if we look at what I spent in August for yarn, because I got 2 patterns that I'm going to be talking about just after that. I spent 182 euros in the mohair farm and 178 euros in Lessay with the rustic Normandy yarn. Okay, fine. So next I'm gonna be telling you which patterns I got, and The first pattern I got it the day it was released. I had been following it, and you'll see what happens with that pattern in my next video when I'll be talking about what I'm going to be doing. So I bought the Fields of Gold by Isabella Clarke. She's a 100-acre wool about everywhere on Instagram, and she has a YouTube channel that I like very much. I do recommend it. And but you know, who am I to recommend someone who has who is a designer and a YouTuber? And no, I enjoy her videos. And I had seen her designing process. She had been reporting on her designing process with that pattern, about that pattern that she mostly knits with an Icelandic yarn, with Nutiden yarn. And yeah, I liked very much the the wheat pattern in the front, and she has also a continuing pattern on each side of the back, and I like that very much. And she has an option to make it less cropped and for longer sleeves. So yeah, I got that pattern right away. And after that, and more recently, but still in August, Pia from 50 Fabulous released a little scarf pattern that I really liked the idea very much compared to other little scarf designs. And I'll be talking about that in my Woolly News series. So she has, so that's the heatwave scarf with a smaller part on the neck with two big kind of bunny ears at the tip of the scarf, and then you can place one tip through a hole so that you don't have a knot in your neck that is bulky and taking much space, and still, you know, have a little part on your neck and a bigger part on your chest. And I'm always cold here, so I'll be knitting that pattern at the same time for me, for myself, but also for Christmas presents. So I think in my previous videos, because I'm not sure, I'm filming not in the order it's going to be published, but I think it's going to be it was in my previous video about my regular knitting adventures. I've shown you all, all the trials and samples I knitted for myself with different yarn for my presents. And so yeah, you'll see the heatwave scarf in the future that I will knit with some mohair that I have in my stash, a very fine mohair I have in my stash, because what Pia has chosen is also a lace weight mohair, and I tried with other type of yarn, and I wasn't very satisfied about how the scarf looked like with a heavier yarn. So I need to knit one sample with mohair and see where I'm going from there. Okay, so that was the two patterns I bought this summer, in August, I mean. So for August, I hope, yeah, for August it was a big expense, €373.53. So July and August, 2 big months as far as expenses in euros. And as I said in July, in my July checking, and so now we are for the whole year €717.59. In 8 months, that's under 100 euros per month. It's more than what I had thought, but I absolutely do not feel bad about it, because I am within the guidelines I had set up for myself at the beginning of the year. And except for books. And I haven't, really looked at books so that I'm not too tempted. But except for books, everything that I had said at the end of December or January is working for me. Knitting from my stash, buying yarn in person only, in presence only. Did I overbuy a bit when I was in the 3 stores or farms I visited? Maybe I did buy a bit more than if I knew I could, order anytime. But anyway, I have very, very, very beautiful yarn in my stash. I have been knitting the yarn I did not like, the cotton I did not like. So I'm gonna be knitting now with yarn I bought and that I know I will enjoy. I have pattern lined up. Now it's all the matter of decided what I'm going to be doing, and it's the subject of a next video because it's gonna be too long. It's already 33 minutes, maybe less, because I had been looking around things I had not prepared. But yes, part of my process of my no-buy year is buying yarn in certain conditions, certain circumstances, and also daydreaming about what I'm going to be doing. And yeah, it's some activity I like very much about knitting is, imagining what we are going to be doing next whenever you are at the point where you are finishing a project. So and I like swatching and making samples and see what I want to be doing. So yeah, I'm enjoying this project very much, and I'm enjoying myself very much. So I'm gonna leave you here on that also very positive note, because I had talked about my life updates in my previous knitting adventures video. It's not so it's not so easy. So I hope you are able to actively bring happiness into your life and find the little bits of happiness that are going to be increasing your own happiness inside of you, because it's not going to come all by itself, in particular in this very stressful world, stressful times. And yeah, thank you for watching, and I hope your knitting is bringing you much happiness. See you next time.